You're still watching TVC Breakfast right here on TVC News. And of course, now, Japada is a Nigerian slang derived from the Yoruba language used to describe the act of escaping or fleeing from an unsavory situation. The word Japada has now been adopted by Nigerians, especially the large youthful population, as the slang for the fad of relocating to a foreign country for greener pastures. In the same vein, the word Japada connotes the opposite. Many only talk about Japada, but when someone comes back to his country of birth from a foreign land, the story is not usually spoken about. Now, today we are joined by a couple who have left the UK and relocated back home. Bukunmi Adiaga Ilori, also known as Bukunmi Preacher, as well as his wife, Ife, are here with us to handle this discussion, seeing that they have both come back to Nigeria from the UK. Now, the move occurred around October 2025, was a planned decision, of course. He shared insights and videos about his return to Nigeria experience, and we have them right here.
Nigeria.
Okay.
I would not give up Nigeria for another country.
No. The UK has given so much, to be fair. For us as a family, we've grown so much professionally, you know, we've worked, you have schooled. And I think I made my global talent here in the UK. In fact, when I was coming to the UK, I wasn't a global talent. The criteria were not perfect yet, but this is where all of that happened. But all of that, you know, is it time to leave all of that behind?
If you're in tune enough, probably after a year in the UK, was when I knew that this was not actually a place to stay. And that's actually the perfect time to have had this conversation. Because if you want to have it now, it's not like it's not too late, but it is very daring.
Difficult.
And probably...
Joining us now to give us more insights on this conversation, we have with us Ife and Preacher.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us. I need to quickly add, the Bukunmi Adiaga, that's Kiki. A friend though, mine is Bukunmi Adelani, so the name can go. His name can go into each other. But they call us Ife and Preacher, and it's really nice to be here. And it's weird to see us on screen. You know? So we don't get to see ourselves on screen.
So you guys are a real couple, and we are TV.
What do you mean by real couple? You are not real.
We are TV couple. So it's a couple show this morning.
It's a couple show this morning. But very importantly, on the topic and conversation now. So you Japad. And now you have Japada.
Well, we relocated out and then we moved back and to Nigeria, of course. The concept of Japa and Japada, as you read in your introduction, is more of Nigeria fleeing. When we wanted to leave, we had a plan.
This was not you fleeing?
No, we had a plan to say, you know, we're going to do this. If this works, we're going to move this. And when at this point, we'll move back, you know, to Nigeria or so. But if I would quickly add, because you see, when we talk about this concept of people relocating, it's usually in terms of, you know, in the derogatory way or something sometimes. But I won't blame anyone for, you know, leaving Nigeria. In fact, even though I'm now in Nigeria, if anyone should ask us today that, do you want us to leave Nigeria? I say yes. Pack your bags and leave.
Why would you say that?
Because for a starter, I probably would not be on your show today if I didn't go and come back. We believe that when you move abroad, nothing has really improved the quality of humanity than people being able to migrate. From history, people just move. I'm not from Lagos. All of us claim that, well, you know, I'm not from Lagos, but we are here in Lagos. But I believe that as a young person relocating abroad, your job is to get exposure, competence, capital if you may, and probably go back to your home country and make these things happen. Other people do it and do it quite well. Indians go, they go back. Chinese go, they go back. And, you know, for us personally as a family, it's not for us to be able to tour the world, although we have a list of the countries that we can tour, not the whole globe.
Okay. So let me come to you, Ife. Who made a thought first that, okay, we need to go back to Nigeria?
It was actually joint.
It was a joint conversation.
Yes, that's because we had that conversation from Nigeria before we left. So when the time was coming and it was looking like, should we still stay? It was, so we usually do family meetings.
Okay, is it that you guys were not making it over there?
No,
that is why.
No, it's even because we made it over there, we had the capacity to come back. Yes, because if you're struggling there, there's nothing you would fall back on here. If you've made it over there and then you've gathered enough funds, but you know that this place, UK is not heaven, abroad is not heaven. So if you're there and you feel like, okay, before I left Nigeria, this is what I want to achieve, and you see that you are not getting those things, or you've gotten those things, why should you be there when it's not as if they are pursuing you from your house?
So now from you, what you're saying is that you went there to get certain things,
yes,
right?
So and those things are here now. There's no point being there.
Yes. So I mean, so in the end of the day, when you're looking at it, right?
Yes.
The reason for leaving was for a greener pasture.
Of course.
So it still fell beyond. I mean, because you were explaining. I mean, it still falls in the whole idea of Japada.
Which is why I said that.
So maybe the Japada did not click, but the Japada.
Because of course, even for us, we still will keep our access to the world. Because like I explained, you need to be able to touch the world. I think the problem that we have, why people coming back to Nigeria, the Japada now becomes a scary thing, is because of the situation in our country. Because why should it be a problem when someone decides to say, you know what, I'm going to leave this place and I'm going to go back to my country. We are Nigerians and we all know what's happening in the UK as regards a Nigerian living in the UK. I promise you, whatever you think it is you think you've heard or know, it's worse than that.
So now you
need
that
to narrate
experience.
that experience.
Yes, exactly.
So what I'm saying is this. I was speaking to a guy that, you know, and he was telling me how stressed he is in the UK. And I was like, oh, what happened? He said, now he works about 70 hours a week. And I said, so why? He said, in Nigeria, he would not work that much.
Yeah.
And I said, so why can't you go back home? He said, go back to what? Before he left Nigeria, he was attacked in his home. So he felt that, oh, he would rather choose to stress than come back home. You know, this same man, I got to know because he now have a permanent back pain. But people go through all of that, refusing to come back home because you look at it and say, oh, why should I come back home? What am I coming to do at home? So I'm hoping that these conversations begin to change as regards security opportunities at home, because even the opportunities are there, to be fair. It's the insecurity really that really makes a lot of problem for people to say they come back, because I think it should be the deal that everyone should go abroad, because there are some things that we've normalized as humans here that should not be.
Like what? What are those things?
For instance, there's a madness on Lagos Road. Almost everyone has a police escort.
Okay, so security
bullying people on the road, bullying everyone off the road. That's not a normal society. Do you get? Now, for us, we might not have some problem because in 2024 we started our business in Nigeria, even though we are away. We knew we were going to come, so we established our business. We are running some stores, so we can say to some extent we can pick the bills. But how many Nigerians can sincerely pick those bills living in Nigeria? So I believe when we settle all of that, because the people abroad now see, quote and unquote, a better way of life, because I still believe that Nigeria is one of the greatest countries in the world to live in.
Absolutely.
I believe that.
Absolutely.
You know? So, but when we give people that opportunity, and then a lot of people would move back. In fact, I personally believe that if you solve insecurity, maybe 50%, I don't have the accurate number of Nigerians living in the United Kingdom especially, will run back home. They will not come back.
So at the point you guys made that decision,
yes,
don't you consider the issue of insecurity in Nigeria? We, for about 45 minutes on this show, we started with the kidnapping, the abduction in KB, Niger, and you guys are back home at this time that we're having
considering
insecurity in the country.
Part of it, I wouldn't disregard the people who it has happened to, but my family is still complete. Why should they pick me out to slaughter me? So it just feels safe to be back.
Do you understand?
Like, I would not, there's insecurity, yes. Those people who it has happened to, it's the worst place anybody can be. But I feel like when you're abroad, it's not an opportunity to think that the whole country is bad. We had a problem one time when we had to stop going to a church, because every time we go to church, somebody, and these are the people in the UK, somebody mentioned, oh, I heard they are fighting in Plateau. How is it now? How can you pick out one place to describe Nigeria? Every Sunday we kept getting that. And I'm like, I can't keep going to this place. And then one day I asked the man, I said, if they're fighting in Birmingham, it doesn't mean the whole of the UK is fighting. So I don't like the idea that you look at Nigeria like that. So we've been here now. Yes, things have happened, but I still have family here that nothing has happened to. I still have, I came here and then there was nobody pointing gun at me. So yes, there's insecurity, but it's not what should make you fear to leave where you are, to come to somewhere. It's a point, but it is not, we shouldn't overblow it and choose to
ignore the opportunities.
Yes.
So what are the opportunities on ground?
In fact,
that Nigerians can open their eyes and tap into those opportunities that we have in this country.
let me start by saying, let me start by saying that we all know now that wealth is created. You create wealth in chaos.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not the first time Nigeria is going through something like this. Insecurity is now blown. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to read about what happened, in 1994, what happened in 1986, and you see, if you can just look away from the problem and look at this opportunity. I'll give you an instance. There's a video I released. Some of my friends, with collaboration with some living in Nigeria, some living in the UK, started a project by moving cocoa from Nigeria to the UK. And in a year, they did over £80,000. In a year, that's what they did as profit. So that's, in agriculture, a lot is happening. This is one of the few countries in the world where you can have maybe 5 million naira, which is about £2,200 for an acre of land. Land that you can put something on and it will grow. That's an opportunity. But unfortunately, like we said, all of this insecurity makes it a little bit stressful for people.
Yes.
But you see, you need to be daring. And for us, like we mentioned, we need to set up something for ourselves here, because the plan is actually global. Is to be able to say, you know what, tomorrow we want to live in, say, for instance, Paris. We want to live in America. We want to, because I believe that is how you grow. But at every point in time when we feel that, we are supposed to be in Nigeria, we want to be part of that. Because you see, unfortunately, and no disrespect, I'm not trying to put this on this current government. There's a lot of decadence in our society that has happened over the years. So I believe personally, now I speak for myself now, please don't put that on us, because Nigerians don't listen. So what I'm saying is that I see some little movement in this government. Yes, quite a few. We expect more, but I see some little movement, especially in terms of policies that can help at some point. So, and I'm talking agriculture now. Time will not permit me to go into some of this, but I see some little policies that you can say, okay, if this work, we are going to win. Now, the concept is the government now sincere enough to pull through all of that? But if you are not there, Yoruba will say that if you are not there, you know how did they share it? So you have to be there for them to say, okay, let's share this thing.
I grew up, just a moment, I grew up knowing this particular song. Iluleo Kosowo Lode. Ọkùnrin kígbe, obìnrin kígbe.
When was the song?
That's
in the 70s. Fela did most of the song in the 70s.
I'm quite sure if we don't know what I'm singing, but just pardon me. Kaloko lon kígbe. It means that people have been shouting there's no money even in the 70s. And our parents built houses, bought cars and the like. So some of them did well. So at what point can young Nigerians watching us at the moment key into some of these opportunities that we have in Nigeria than just looking at some of the minute challenges bedeviling the country?
See, I would not want to call it minute, because you see, our society is a special one, you see, because we seem to kill opportunities, quote and unquote, which is why I said that I see some movement in this, recently. But what I'm hoping that our youth will be able to do, and this is not for general people, everyone will not be able to, because it's scary, because this is madness to come back to Nigeria, from the United Kingdom. It's madness. But you need to go against the flow to make anything significant happen.
Yes.
You need to do that. So for a young Nigerian to be able to just dream and say, you know what, I'm going to go into agriculture. I'm going to supply what Nigerians will eat globally, maybe in the UK, for instance. At least Isaac Fayoshe, at least it comes to mind. He made a video some months ago that all he does to become a billionaire is to export from Nigeria gari, drinks, suya, spice from Nigeria to the UK. And most of his time he spends it here. So for us to be able to, as a young Nigerian, to dream. Scary, I must confess. I want to balance the conversation. It's scary.
So I need, no, I actually need you to balance the conversation because I'm trying to get the message of all that you're saying. Because you have had the experience of going over there, right? And coming back here. And you see that, okay, fine, you mentioned how, yeah, I mean, some people over there work over like 70 hours. But when you come back here, it makes sense because, I mean, if I'm secured there, I'd rather work 70 hours than that. Yes. Now, you're talking about someone that's exporting gari, suya, spice, and all of that. Now, you consider the people that are consuming that to make that person a billionaire. They're not Britons. You need Nigerians to consume gari and consume pepper.
Which is why at the beginning I said, you know what, for anyone that feels like, oh, I need to relocate, please do. But for those that feel like, okay, I think I have enough experience, I said, I believe as a young Nigerian, you know, so that you don't waste your life. Now, this is my own personal belief, that you can really only become average outside Nigeria. That's actually the best most people can be. Yes, we have outliers, people that can do so much.
I actually disagree with that.
Which is why I said we have outliers that can do so much. But by the time you begin to really ask the questions and say, so what do you do? How much do you earn? How much do you save? If you go and interview for Nigerians that lived in Nigerians in the 80s, lived in the UK 70, put their life against the ones in Nigeria, sometimes you will be shocked that the difference will be passport. The British passport. The ones here will probably have their own house, all paid for, also their kids are around them. Ask the question, when you look at it, for someone that is serious, not much difference would be there. You know? Or sometimes even the ones here have the better quality of life than the ones there. Trust me, forget all these jackets and wind and snow all around. Life is much more than that. Life is much more than that. So,
Bukomi, you were mentored by Teju Babyface.
Directly.
Absolutely. And you made mention of about coming back to Nigeria some days or some month back. Will you also advise him to come back?
No, that's not what he said.
He has come to clarify that he was misunderstood.
Yes. He said he regretted. He said he regretted going to the United States. And then he came back to the state. He regretted. That's past. When he came in, because abroad is not fun. It's not all butter. It's, you know, that's why I said that. I understand the snow, and when somebody calls you, you take pictures and and all of that. It's actually not fun where you have husband and wife working and exchanging their kids, keeping the kids on TV. They can't see their own children. It's a lot of work if we have been sincere.
It's a lot of work, very true. However, would you say everyone goes through that particular process? Now, something very important that you said in today's conversation was that yourself and your wife planned it.
Exactly.
Yes. Do you understand? You planned it. So now, would you say that people that go there and face these tough situations that literally it seems that they can't break through, can you not attribute that to probably lack of planning as well?
If he answered that question.
Yes.
So everybody has a plan. I don't think they would leave their family. They will leave everything that they have
without a plan.
Without a plan. And it doesn't mean that it was all rosy or that is still being all rosy with them before they left. But then it just takes an extra effort to say that, okay, now this is what, even the people who are there, it doesn't mean that they are not going through challenges now or everything is not working for them, but they haven't said, okay, we want to come back. And the plan is not, what the message we are preaching is not to leave the UK.
No.
Abroad, if it's not working again for you.
No, it's
you can come back.
No, of course, I'm getting you correctly. But then again, Preacher is talking about how, there are lots of opportunities here. I'm not saying they are not, of course. I mean, I feel Nigeria is actually very fertile soil when it comes to things, and we have a lot of low-hanging fruits right here. But then again, when you talk about the currencies, when you talk about working 70 hours over there, the money you make working 70 hours over here, because if you think about the power of the currency, then also think about even the way the currency is being given out. Over there, most times, when you work here, you're being paid by hour. Over here, compare that. Do you understand? So I'm saying, so you came back because certain things worked. When you now bring the money and you translate it here, you see how much more prosperous and abundant that is.
I concur. What I'm saying is the fact that I get all of that, money is this, but ask an average, just Google what's the average income in the UK and what do you need to pay.
Compare to the tax.
And compare to the tax and compare everything and check the bottom line.
But compared to the generator that you're paying here, the fuel that you're buying here, the security that you have to buy for yourself.
I'm not trying to say Nigeria is better than the UK because it's not. I'm not trying to say that. It's not. What I'm
actually might
saying
be.
is that you need to look at the quality of...
planning also to
Somebody has to. Somebody
it
has
makes
to
sense.
draw the.
Come
on. We have to be realistic.
Of course, that's
certain
what
things.
I'm doing my best to do that. What I'm saying is that we need to balance that conversation because there's a particular discussion that we all leave on the table. It's the quality of life.
Yes.
We leave that on the table and we focus on finance.
So which would you say is better, quality of life, over there, over here?
Anywhere. It can be anywhere for you. Like I said, I know Nigerians that are doing super well in the UK. Super well and comfortable. But by the time you put 100 together and you see that, okay, 80 are complaining of something, then we must begin to have the conversations and be sincere with
I have
ourselves.
some of my friends in the UK and they're very stingy.
They're not stingy.
They know how they make their money.
They're not stingy.
They hardly give out money.
They are not stingy. The 70 hours that you spoke about, or speak about now, say you come to the UK and you make £3,000 in the UK.
Give me a part of my life.
Your house rent alone would take maybe like 70% of that.
Would you also advise your mentor, Tejubaby Face, to come back to Nigeria?
Again, I'll go back to my discussion that as a young Nigerian, you must be flexible enough to live where you can survive part-time. That's why I said you need to be able to live. For what he is doing, it needs to be in the U. And by the way, it comes to Nigeria regular. You might not know. I'm well aware because every 3 months or so, it's in the country.
Okay.
It's in the country and it's going, which is this. I said something earlier that for us, yes, we moved out of the UK. But doesn't mean that now we are not going anywhere. No, that's not the message. The message is to say, if abroad is not working, be flexible enough to look back home and say, you know what, is something happening here? Let me re-strategize my life.
Even if it's working, still flexible enough to.
We just have to go now. We have to go now.
Thank
and the preacher.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having us
on TVC Breakfast Saturday, and we wish you all the best in what you do.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll take a break at the moment, and when we come back from the break, the sport guys are ready to take us into the world of sports. Do not go anywhere. Definitely, we'll be right back.
Cucurella.